Perhaps our next guest knew for sure all along. He is his head coach, Captain Eric Albarracin, who it was tougher to book on this program than it was to book Conor McGregor, believe it or not. Do we have Captain Eric?
I'm right here.
Where is he? Where is Captain? There he is, my guy, Captain. It was so hard to book you, Captain Eric. I mean, it was unbelievable how many. Are you that busy over there?
Listen, when the greatest combat athlete is coming back after 3 years, he's three times better. Everybody wants a piece of Triple C. And some of that, when they can't get a piece, it kind of rolls off to me. We got a hot month. Also, Patricio Pitbull's going for his third world
That's
title.
right.
So I'm getting hit in all kinds of directions. But we're here. You saved the best for last.
That's
I
right.
would have went in there too. I would have went into your
I invited
into
you.
your
I invited
office.
you, but I understand it's a bit of a trek from New Jersey. I appreciate you coming nonetheless. So, can I ask you about that? Did you always believe he would come back, or was there a point where you truly believed that he was done?
I will say this: when he retired, I shed a tear because uh, I wasn't sure if he was going to be coming back, and it was like I remember when I became a captain in the army, my dad cried in that moment. I never seen him cry or be that proud, and that's kind of what I felt. It wasn't that I was proud of the career that he accomplished. When I first met him in 2004, he had that list that he put up on it in his dorm rooms at the Olympic Training Center, and it had three things: to be Olympic champion, to be UFC champion, world's best father and husband. And when he accomplished that second goal, I knew it was time for him to take that time off and relax and start on with the next chapter in his life.
And when he told you that he wanted to come back, seriously, when it was all coming together, did you have any doubts? Did you feel like maybe it was going to be too long of a layoff, too big of a hill to climb? Like, what were you thinking initially when it seemed like this was going to be a reality?
I said exactly how I planned it. Let me introduce him to some Brazilian girl,
Yeah.
have him fall in love, get married, have a baby, and then when that baby comes around, uh, he'll find that extra motivation that he would fight for something different. Now, however, I don't actually believe that's the case.
Oh,
Henry tried to, he wanted to relax. He had a target on his back since he was 12 years old because he's been number one since he was that age, and he wanted to relax. He wanted comfort, but now I realize Henry wasn't made for relaxation or comfort. Henry was made for greatness, and that is why he's back. He sees Aljamain. When they're talking about people coming back, you guys are worried whether Henry Cejudo is coming back. We're worried about Aljamain not coming back. He was talking about the bicep injury, and guess what? Aljamain, Ali Quinta, Ray Longo, Matt Serra, they need to thank me because I made a phone call to BioAccelerator about Aljamain. They said, you know what? We weren't thinking about him because he's Henry's competition, and Henry is one of the OGs of BioAccelerator and stem cells. So they know never to help out the competition, and they never do. I've had Patricio go there, Patricky, Paulo Costa, everybody. Henry twice right before this camp. But I said, you know what? We need Aljamain healthy. Otherwise, he's going to push it off. And Henry wants Aljamain to be on his as his accomplishment. So we gave BioAccelerator a call and said, hey, we want you to treat his injury. And we got him back to 100%.
wow.
And so you're welcome.
Wow. This is in Colombia. This is that spot in Colombia that everyone goes to, right?
Spot, yeah, BioAccelerator in Medellin, BioX man. Patricio Pitbull was the first BioX man, spelled MMAN. And I think then it was Paulo Costa, and then Henry, then Patricky. We sent some of the best fighters in the world. The
Okay.
BioX.
What did you make of their interaction on Sunday? I saw you sitting there. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I did not like that. I
Wha
did not like that at all.
Why? Why? What didn't you like about it?
Well, if you saw their ESPN interview, they're at each other's throats,
Yeah.
and now they see each other. It reminded me a little bit about with Paulo and Izzy. They're at each other's throats on the in the interviews, and then when they saw each other for the first time in Abu Dhabi, they're all shaking hands and hugging, and everybody's like, that killed the hype for it. So then Paulo raised it and threw that belt at him. So I feel Henry's gonna have to raise the game now and make sure that rivalry is heated, because this is gonna be a fight for the ages. UFC 288. Aljamain, if he could win, he would become the greatest bantamweight of all time.
You really believe that? Someone asked me that earlier. I still put Dominic. I just don't think he's had I think he's en route. I think if he beats Henry, he's definitely in the conversation. But is that on the line for this? Has he had enough title defenses?
I'm going off what they were saying. Someone posted that.
All right.
So
I'm
going
off
that?
Who's the greatest bantamweight champion of all time, in your opinion? You're a historian.
Yeah, you know what? I had TJ Dillashaw up there.
Okay, that's a fair one.
I had TJ Dillashaw, and that's why it was so important for Henry to save the flyweight division by beating TJ Dillashaw. And when you talk about, New York, if you could make it in New York, you could make it anywhere. Well, you know what we did in New York? Henry took out DJ in 32 seconds. So we're back in New York again. We're back in the hometown or the home area of Aljamain Sterling, and we're going to make history again.
What would you say is the biggest difference between this Henry and the one that we saw 3 years ago?
Wow. You know what? Henry's just 3 years off. I've never seen him. Here's a funny story. I don't tell it to everybody, but I'll tell it to you because you're my boy.
Thank you.
So Henry was not the king of cringe years ago. It was like I couldn't even get him to do a tweet. And now it's like the complete opposite. He's like Logan Paul. He's a YouTuber. And matter of fact, I got his YouTube producer right here with me, one of your fellow Jewish tribe members.
Who, Wantsover?
Michael Wantsover.
Come on, Michael. There he is. My old friend Michael Wantsover of ESPN fame. How are you, Mike? Long time no see.
Good. How are you, Ariel?
I didn't realize this was a multi-camp shoot here.
Now you got to document everything. Team Cejudo. Look how much of a sellout I am right here.
Wow, that's a nice looking hat, by the way. That's who designed that? Did you design that?
I helped design it. HenryCejudo.com. Yeah, no, if you're interested.
Wow, you are fully in. And by the way, don't think I saw Kelvin Gaslam's recap of the fight. I was like, oh, this has Michael Wantsover's fingerprints all over it.
No, I'm working with Kelvin, helping him out as well. He just got back from Mexico. Going 170, got to help promote him as well. Helping out everyone at Fight Ready.
For the audience, Michael Wantsover is one of the great producers that I met at ESPN. I'm happy to see him on Team Cejudo. Is Henry going to jump out of the other side of the room over there? Are there more surprises? Who's next?
I think Henry's with your boy DC.
Oh man, talk about from the penthouse you to the outhouse him, huh?
Man. Nah, both of you guys are doing good.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I was saying that
yes, go ahead.
3 years, when now he's a YouTuber, but now that means he's analyzing. He's analyzing fights every day. He's coaching. And when you become a coach, you become a leader. And, when you're a leader, it's not how long you stay at the top. It's how many people you bring with you to the top. And that's, Henry always says, legends take care of legends. So, him and John Jones, Yuri Prohaska, Figueiredo. We were even talking just today to somebody when we heard about Aldana maybe fighting for the title. And she is fighting for the title. And I was remembering the 3 Mexican champions Henry also mentored. They lived at his house before.
Wow.
From Moreno to Grasso and Yair did a camp there at Fight Ready. So You know, Henry's had a piece in coaching all these people and mentoring, and he's taken 3 years off, but his mind never stopped working. His mind evolved, and he let his body rest. You know, drank some secret juice. Now he's stronger than ever, mentally, physically.
Are you surprised that he has turned into such a great coach, or did you always know that he would be this kind of coach?
Yes and no. More so, I would say because he used to hate school. He hated high school. So, you know, you would think he wouldn't like to coach and study, but it's quite the opposite. You know, when I see he's got his red book, his Art of War, it's amazing to me. I just remember having trouble trying to get him to study and try to pass the SATs when he was in high school. It wasn't happening, and now he does it on his own. You should see him at his book. He's got some of the best knowledge, and it's like the Art of War, written by Musashi.
Well, I mean, he's turned into a great coach, and I love the fact that he is coming back. And honestly, I was trying to tell people when Dariush Oliveira fell through, I was like, man, this fight is elite. Like, I love this fight. Don't worry. And now the card is just fine, and they got Bilal and Gilbert, and it's great. But this fight to me is so great. And I was just talking about it earlier in the day because it feels like the ultimate chess match. You know, sometimes when it's wrestler versus wrestler, they stay standing. But this is a bit like wrestler versus grappler. And then if it gets to the ground, who will win out? And then if it doesn't go to the ground, who's the better striker? And does it go, you know, into the championship rounds? And what does Henry look like? And what does Aljo look like? He wasn't really tested against TJ. Could you give us any insight as to where you think this fight is played out? Is it played out on the mat? Is it one of those fights where the grappling cancels each other out and it becomes a kickboxing match or a boxing match? What are you expecting?
You know, I would say, you know, they're expecting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yet they don't speak Portuguese. Ali Quinta, Ray Longo, Matt Serra, and
what does the Portuguese have anything to do with it? What?
Wait.
Sorry.
Because they want to say wrestling. The fact that you say wrestling cancels out wrestling, Division III cancels out Olympic champion wrestling. Okay. Are you guys out of your mind? I think you remember back in 2019 when Dwayne Bedledwood said that on your show. Go back and watch it and watch how heated I get when you guys bring that up. No, they're wrestling. We're going to show you why Long Island is called Strong Island, because I was born on Long Island. And we're going to show you why world-class wrestling is king on Saturday night. You know, Ali Quinta, Home Smart, bet some of those smart homes that you're selling. Put it on the line. Bet the house if you're so confident in what's going to happen, that his grappling. How's he going to take him? How's he going to take his back? You know, this is going to be played out where Henry decides. And you're going to see, you might even see a submission from Henry.
So you think it actually does go to the ground? Because I think there's a scenario where it remains standing throughout.
Oh, if it remains standing throughout, Aljamain's getting knocked out by Triple C.
Dang.
If he tries to keep it on the feet, but you know, how can he stop Henry's wrestling? Tell me that.
Any concern of ring rust?
No, because in my experience, I've been with Henry when he came back in 2011 after he took off 3 years after the Olympics, and he fought a Russian right here in Times Square.
Yeah.
And one of the #1 Russians in the world. And he beat him after 3 years off. So, you know, I think him training with Mighty Mouse really helped him. The advice that Mighty Mouse gave him, the training that he did him, that also definitely, takes away the ring rust, hearing confirmation, discussing, exchanging ideas with Mighty Mouse, one of the highest fight IQs I've ever seen. And I've been around guys like John Jones and Wei Lee and Figueiredo, Moreno, the Pitbull brothers. And of course, Triple C and Mighty Mouse, man. Mighty Mouse is he's right up there, the top two of fight IQs. And Henry was training with him and a few times. So I'm excited for Mighty Mouse's trilogy fight on one.
Yeah.
The greatest combat athlete of all time, the flyweight GOAT, one of the probably the MMA GOAT with 11 world title defenses. He's back on one just the day before. So those two guys that trained together, it was me. I felt like I was looking at Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, or Michael Jordan and LeBron James training together. And
must be amazing.
It was an honor, man. I felt like I was Phil Jackson, just being able to, run the practice and able to watch these two guys exchange ideas and play spar.
Is there any chance that Henry wins and walks away again, or do you think he's back for several fights?
Oh, no. We talked about that list, didn't we, in the very beginning?
Yeah.
We got a new list out.
What is it?
On May 6th, the Funk Master is about to get scratched right off that list and on to the next one. So,
the next one Sean O'Malley?
I would like that. Yeah, Henry would like that. Yes.
Man,
Sean O'Malley.
Got to do that in Arizona, right?
That would be great. Phoenix, Arizona, for sure. Or Chicago. Chicago's always that's where Henry won his champ status.
Yeah, I just feel like two Arizona guys. I mean, it feels like a big deal. When does 45 come into play?
I believe probably right after that. It depends how Henry wants to move fast this year. He knows he's 36 years young, but he'd like to move fast. There's a possibility he becomes C4, and gets that third title in the UFC, first ever. Patricio Pitbull on June 16th is fighting for the first time ever for a third world title. So I could have two triple champs.
Damn.
Back in 2019 when there was only just a couple of champs. We had Patricio and Henry become champs, and now in 2023 there's a possibility that we do it this year. Between this year and 2024 is to have two triple champs.
And I want
to.
Yes.
Then you cannot deny me, Ariel.
Stop it.
You cannot deny me.
I would not deny you.
Still don't forget.
Oh, I know you don't forget. But I was gonna make a joke that then for sure you got it, and you deserved it. Don't listen to me, all right? I want to ask you about Patricio Pitbull in a moment, but if it was up to Henry, would this return fight have been at 45?
For Henry, yes. As his coach, I like this path though better.
You do? Why?
Because you got to get your feet wet. I mean,
yeah.
So Alexander, pound for pound, this guy's been competing. I'd like to see Henry really build up to this fight. Not only physically, but more getting into a rhythm, but even more so, as Henry gets into his YouTube career, you have to always think twice as he becomes a businessman. I could see him beating Volkanovski, and then what's left? You don't go back down. So this kind of builds it up. So now everything builds from his YouTube channel, from his mental mindset, from his physical mindset. He gets into his rhythm. He gets the crowd. He's getting pay-per-views everybody wants to see. Now he's made a name for himself again. Now they can't deny him. Now let's make the pound for pound versus the greatest combat athlete of all time? Can Henry become C4, or can Alexander Volkanovski take out the greatest combat athlete of all time?
By the way, they're calling Brock Lesnar on WWE TV that exact title. Do you take umbrage with that?
Excuse me?
That's what they're calling him. And I actually said, by the way, I said this at the beginning of the show, Henry has a greater claim to that title than Brock does. And you could even make the case that he's the most successful combat. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many medalists there are in UFC history who have won belts, let alone gold medalists. It's a very exclusive club. And I think, and please let him know that I said this, I think he doesn't get the respect that he deserves and the love and admiration that he deserves for everything that he has accomplished in combat sports, obviously wrestling and mixed martial arts. And so it's a phenomenal career, and we're lucky that he's back, and the division is lucky that he's back. Every rising tide lifts all boats, right? But I just wanted to know how you felt about them saying that Brock Lesnar was number one. Never made it to the Olympics.
Brock Lesnar. I'm offended. Are you serious? Come on.
Yeah.
He knows better than that. He knows you can't compare Division I to Olympic champion, much like you can't compare Division III to Olympic and world-class wrestling. We called that when Henry's back in 2016, when he first fought Demetrius Johnson, yet he lost. I was saying it's on Flow Wrestling. Yo to go. Youngest of all time to greatest of all time. And that was even just for one belt because of the person he was fighting in Mighty Mouse, the greatest of all time. For him to beat him was unimaginable at the time, as he got knocked out in the first fight with him. So I was saying, we win this fight, yoke to goat.
What's the official prediction?
We've been calling Henry that for a while. So Brock, he's got to change it, or I'm making the jump into WWE myself.
By the way, you would be a great pro wrestling manager.
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
You could be that
Jimmy
guy.
Hall.
Yeah, with the glasses. Look at the jacket. Where do you get those glasses, by the way?
James Elliott glasses. One Monarchy Las Vegas right here. Burn Factory. You saw they flew us out on the private jet. That was awesome.
Yeah.
From Arizona to Newark. So that really helped Henry's mindset to be able to relax so his daughter can run around. So that was really cool. Well, did you ask me what was my prediction?
Well, before I get to that, I'm just curious, where do you get those glasses? And it feels like the skull is getting bigger and bigger every time.
Because the goal keeps getting bigger and bigger every time. So James Elliott, custom made. I have a new pair on the way for this special edition for UFC 288. I think this is going to be one of the greatest fights cards. So this year.
What is the prediction?
Oh, Henry Cejudo, Triple C takes him in 3.
In 3. Sub or TKO? Or KO?
I think it's going to be a submission.
Dang.
Henry might be saying something else.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a submission.
Why is Pitbull going down to 35?
To do something nobody's ever done. To become the 3-division world champion. And he's another special one. When I think about high fight IQs, you got to put Pitbull right up there. And, he doesn't get the recognition even when he became champ. He beat Michael Chandler in under a minute. But you cannot deny him. You cannot deny him of how great he is on June 16th, Bellator, when he becomes the first 3-time world champion in history and makes history and makes history remember his name. And that's what I think it is. It's for him to cement himself as a legend amongst legends. And for somebody that, if you watch the press conference today, it was even brought up and Henry talked about it. But, people ask me, out of everybody you coach, who's the best? I mean, and you're talking about the who's who with Patricio Pitbull Patricky, Henry Cejudo, Figueiredo, John Jones, Yuri Prohaska, Wei Lee, some of these all these world champions. And I really just say they all have their own. Like if I think about Yuri Prohashka, I consider him fearless. John Jones, the most gifted. Wei Lee, Wei Lee is so freaking good. It's hard to just give her one, but I would say she learns the fastest. But man, is she an athlete? And Figueiredo, powerful. Henry Cejudo, greatest competitor I've ever seen. He will find a way to win. Patricky Pitbull, the king of knockouts. Patricio Pitbull, high fight IQ at the highest level, along with Demetrius Johnson.
It's an amazing roster. By the way, how is the cut going?
Oh my God! I think we got to stop him from getting too low. It's never been.
Oh wow!
In the beginning, he was. You were thinking, man, Henry, you're looking like you weigh 170, 180 pounds, but we're calling out all these bantamweights. And, he got him on the right diet, the vertical line. And, wow, it's amazing. He's less than 10 over.
Okay.
He's ripped. I got a picture right here of him.
Dang. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, that is tremendous. He looks great. By the way, are you still working with Borrachinha?
Secret juice, baby. Yeah, you know what? For sure, man. Borrachinha is the type of guy, like, he's hard to work with, but not the way you think. He's hard to work with because you can't get him out of the gym. Literally, he'll be there till 3, 4 in the morning, and you stay with him. I do, and it's like, man, we're getting home. We're eating dinner at 5 a.m. So it's like, that's what makes it hard, because he's so dedicated when he trains. He trains hard. He trains long. But the great thing about Borrachinha is, man, I'm always trying to help my Brazilians, and I speak Portuguese for them, and we're always help promoting fights. Borrachinha does everything I ask. Usually, if I say something, hey, let's use this nickname. Boom, let's go. The Eraser. What do you think of this idea? He's like, boom, let's do it. Boom, what do you think of this idea? He goes to Contenders with the digital writing, and I can't believe some of the stuff he would write on there. This guy's got.
He's incredible. I remember when you guys came in studio, and he couldn't speak English when you came in studio when GSP was here, and to see how far he's come with his personality and how entertaining he is and how likable he's become. It's really an evolution. So I know your fingerprints are all over that, because you've always been good at the promotion side of things.
You know what? He's calling out Hamzat. He's calling out Strickland. I don't know what's happening with it. I think it's supposed to be in Abu Dhabi. So
yeah,
I wouldn't like him to wait that long. That means he only fights once this year.
Right.
Hopefully wait all the way to Abu Dhabi, and I'd like to keep him active. And active. Man, Paulo can seriously be the face of the UFC if he could be more active.
Right.
I see it. I have all these super athletes, all those world champions that I even mentioned. But I'll tell you what, when Paulo fights, man, that vibe carries for. To me, it's still that vibe is still carrying from when he beat Luke Rockhold.
Right.
I still feel that vibe that he created, and it's still it's a ripple effect with him. And he's one of the only people that can do that in this game of MMA in the UFC. So, man, this guy deserves whatever he's asking for. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know what if it's money or not. He deserves it. This guy can be the face of the UFC for sure.
Last one. Are you still gonna? I know John like popped in, he popped out. It seems like he's gonna fight in New York in November. You guys still gonna work with him?
Man, John's the man. He came out to us three or four times. Henry and I went out to him the week before the fight. Wish we could have went earlier. I think we were in the middle of camp, Henry's camp, as a matter of fact, and. For sure. Stipe, he's going against the greatest heavyweight of all time. We got that art of war for him. So, for sure, I think we'll be working together for that his retirement fight. I hope it's not a retirement fight.
Nah, I don't buy that.
I hope not. I hope he stays.
You know what's gonna happen, right? He's gonna fight Stipe. He looks good. Francis is gonna get a couple of them out of the way, and then they're gonna revisit that next year.
That would be awesome. Or even Izzy says he can go up to 205.
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy too.
That would be one. I want that one.
That would be nuts.
We want that one back. So I don't care who it is, but if John Jones versus Israel Adesanya, if you want to lose that weight again,
with you in the corner, man. Well, you'll be in the corner on Saturday for the return of your guy Henry Cejudo. Good luck to you, Captain. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we figured this out. We had to move mountains, but I'm glad we figured it out. Captain asked me to do the interview in the morning. I mean, Captain, you asked me to do the interview in the morning. You know it's a live show. Since when do we do interviews in the morning? But we figured it out.
We make special exceptions.
We do.
I would have been there because I could have came in studio if it was definitely in the morning. You know, I haven't been there. Fuck, I haven't been there for years. I haven't seen you since the last time I was on there. And that was literally, I think, a year ago when I was on last, when I was in Brazil and we were talking about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're back now.
Starting a charity helping out Ukrainian fighters.
Yes.
And getting them into MMA. So we're still working on that one.
Okay.
That was something. And I hadn't seen you in a couple of years since we did that last show.
That's right. But we're good now. We're all good now. Thank you, Coach. Good luck. Appreciate it. And keep up the great work over there. And all the best to Henry, all right?
Thank you. We'll see you soon. We'll see you. Are you going to be here on Saturday? Are you going to?
I will not be there, no.
You watch the pay-per-view, though? No illegal streaming.
Nah, come on. I'll tell you what. If Henry wins, I'll be happy to have him on the show on Monday, okay? You tell him that. I'll make an exception. Last time I talked to Henry, 2019. Could you believe that? June of 2019 after the Marlon Moraes win.
No, come on.
Isn't that amazing?
No, come on. You guys got to make up. Henry loves you. He always talks to Mark Raimondi about you.
I love Henry. I always and by the way, when I was working with Henry, he was hobnobbing with the Bella twins. Never forget, all right? That's the work I was doing, you know, and then we started we took a left turn, but you know,
back to WWE.
That's right.
WWE and MMA, it's connected.
It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Coach. All the best. Good luck and great work, Michael. All the best to you as well.
Yeah, thanks. Great to see you, Ariel.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, guys. There he is, the great Captain Eric Albarracin, head coach for Henry Cejudo and so many others, as we just discussed.